Extreme home makeovers and destroy families. Yeah, this seems like fun.
Imagine one morning you wake up to this guy screaming outside of your house into a megaphone. You walk outside to find out that he is with a television crew, and they are sending you and your family on a 1-week vacation, and during that time, he is going to demolish your home and build you a brand new one from the ground up. Although it's pretty obnoxious, it sounds like a pretty good deal, right? Well, it is a good deal,
kinda.
until it's not. Foreclosures, angry community members, property tax increases, bills doubling to tripling, and even more family struggles. Many of the families that were featured on Extreme Makeover Home Edition ended up worse off than before Ty Pennington showed up on their doorstep.
I feel that this is like a common thing with these reality shows that are supposed to help people. They do something and then it's like a disaster in the long run.
But to fully understand how some families were negatively affected by what seems to be a very generous gift, we must first take a look at the families that were carefully chosen to get these home remodels. Typically, individuals would fill out an application form on the ABC website, which required them to provide a story of why they deserved a new house.
Yeah.
They could also nominate another family.
Well, you're obviously not gonna pick some kind of boring, mundane house with a crackhead living inside. Everyone knows that that's not ever happening. But yeah, look at this guy. Probably some kind of army, a vet or whatever, and doesn't have legs. Of course he's the perfect candidate for a home rework.
Such as a friend or a member of your community. Every episode starts with a story of the deserving family in need, such as a family that lost their mother or father, a family with a disabled child, a family that's living in poverty, or a family affected by a natural disaster. Since this was a reality television show, it was very important to produce the most tear-jerking episodes possible, featuring stories that would deeply tug at the viewer's heartstrings. Some people argued that specifically targeting families who had endured unimaginable tragedy and faced overwhelming hardship was ABC exploiting them for better ratings.
Well, obviously it was exploiting them for better ratings, but then again, what are you gonna do? Not pick a single family like that? Are you gonna pick someone rich who don't even need it? Are you gonna pick someone who's like, oh, nice, this is like a small makeover in the grand scheme of no, you're obviously gonna pick a family like this. It's like, if you don't, what's wrong with you?
Scarborough of MSNBC claimed that Extreme Makeover has a secret wish list of victims the show is trying to hunt down. They want to find a family who has multiple children with Down syndrome. They want to find a child with a rare condition that causes rapid aging and death. They want to find an extraordinary mom or dad who's diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease. Now, if the show was aggressively
I mean, yeah, I completely understand this, and here's why I completely understand this. Well, how many cancer patients are you going to show on your show, right? How many people without legs are you going to put on your show? It kind of gets boring at one point. So, you know, you need that difference. You need that diversity in this case. It's pretty evil, but this is show business at the end of the day, and this is what they do.
Targeting these people, sure, that's a bit weird, especially because it's likely for the TV ratings and not for charity. However, it is still a good deed. Plus, if they helped out middle-class families or ones that seemed like they weren't that bad off, they would be criticized for not focusing on a more deserving family. I don't think Home Makeover is taking advantage of the families. However, I do think that monthly subscription sites take advantage of you and know that most people forget to cancel their subscriptions. Well, today's sponsor, Rocket Money, is here to help. Rocket Money is an all-in-one finance platform that helps you save more and spend less. This personal finance...
Rocket Money is the stupidest thing ever. If you're buying this, you might as well donate all of your money to me because you literally have no idea what to do with money. This thing doesn't help you save. This thing doesn't do anything. All you see here is literally the same details you can get in your bank account. Rocket Money is just a literal nothing. If you want to lose money, go buy Rocket Money. Otherwise, you know, if you want to save money, give me half the money you would have spent on this garbage.
Upload a photo of your bill and
they don't negotiate your bills because it's impossible to negotiate bills. You can't go to an electricity company and say, well, I used electricity for $20 this month, but I'm gonna give you $5. Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
million users using Rocket Money. I've got the hookup. Go to rocketmoney.com/PatrickCC
Boo,
or
garbage.
rocketmoney.com. The crew would treat the families to a fully funded vacation to destinations such as Hawaii, California, or Florida. During the family's trip,
Well, not current Hawaii, that's for sure.
ABC would rally hundreds of contractors, construction workers, and volunteers in the local community to help. Sometimes they would even make Facebook pages so all their neighbors could stay up to date. Oftentimes, the volunteers are critical for the house getting completed on time. Then, Ty Pennington would video call the
you know what I want to really know about these houses is how much corners are cut, because, they're obviously not going to use the expensive stuff everywhere. They're going to make it look good from the outside, but how much corner cutting is happening in the inside?
family and show his crew absolutely destroying their house, and sometimes they would take it too far. Take the Rapati Pierce family, for example. The mother and father were both police officers, and one tragic night, Christina was shot during a foot pursuit, which led to her being paralyzed from the waist down. So they hired the LA SWAT team to place bombs inside of the house, detonate them, then drive a massive battering ram attached to an armored truck to destroy the house. Now obviously they have to do demolition to rebuild a new house from the ground up, but it would still be a bit traumatic to watch your home filled with all those memories get smashed to a million pieces. But the ridiculousness didn't stop there. Remember, this is reality TV. Just building a very practical, standard, and modest home wouldn't be good enough. So the carpenters and designers were pushed to create increasingly elaborate designs and gimmicks to boost ratings, such as this airplane-themed bedroom with bags of peanuts as curtains, this very small backyard that was converted to a miniature go-kart track. How many trips around that go-kart track would a kid be able to do before they get absolutely sick of it? Why not a playroom with a ball pit?
Like maybe 5.
Containing 27,000 plastic balls. And my personal favorite, a teenager's room entirely made out of duct tape.
Desk. I have a bedspread and a pillowcase made out of duct tape.
The designers would take one small
that's literally a loss right there. Out of duct tape. I never even heard of this. That's like the most impractical, evil thing to do. Wow. Man, they should have sued them.
Facet of their personality and dedicate the entire bedroom to it. Like this toddler who said he wants to be a cardiologist when he grows up, so they put EKG signals on the walls and a dresser designed to look like a human heart. Rooms like this seem very difficult to age in, and the tacky designs would actually take a considerable amount of effort to change. But sometimes it wasn't just tasteless designs. They would actually create new responsibilities that the family may not have even wanted.
Great.
For example, this teenager got a jacuzzi that took up half the bedroom. Could you imagine your room constantly smelling like hot chlorine water? The cost to maintain a jacuzzi is only about $20 to $40 per month in sanitizer and chemicals, but even doing the maintenance is a burden that maybe nobody wanted. Just draining that
they probably ended up just never using the jacuzzi, and then it's probably fine, right?
Water every 3 to 4 months like you're supposed to would be incredibly inconvenient. Another thing they did often was add huge fish tanks or
jacuzzis need water drainage?
Habitats, like this boy's room that looks like the reptile section at a pet store, complete with frogs, turtles, and lizards. Buying pet food, supplies, and cleaning the tanks is even more important because it will literally kill the animal if you don't. Extreme home makeover inserting new responsibility onto you without your choice isn't only annoying, for some people it created even more problems and financial stress that ultimately forced them to move out of their homes. Now, most of the time, ABC would
moving out of your home, it's kind of sad, but your home was torn down probably in a very spectacular fashion, and it probably is more expensive now than it was previously. So, potentially kind of gain money. So, I don't know. Sounds like kind of a plus and minus type of situation, but it's hard to say how mad you should be about it.
Entirely pay off the home for the family. However, owning a home is more than just paying the mortgage. Expenses such as property taxes, utilities, and home maintenance add up extremely quickly. There have been multiple reports of families whose expenses doubled, if not tripled, within the first year of living there. The Dickinson family went from an 1,800 square foot ranch to a 6-bedroom, 4-bathroom, 4,000 square foot super home equipped with cutting
well, okay, obviously that's going to be pretty fucking expensive.
Edge technology, so it's only natural to assume that the bills would go up. Their electric bill alone went from about $200 per month to as high as $600 after. Their property taxes tripled. The wife, India, said she wasn't worried. Wow. My husband works and I work, so if I have to work another job to help keep it up, that's what I'll do. But as the years went on, it got worse and worse. And in October of 2016, William filed a Chapter 13 bankruptcy petition to save his home from foreclosure. He had only $5 in cash, $287 in a checking account, and $15 in a joint savings account at the time of filing. However, it seems like they never lost the house, because on 2022 Google Maps you can see William and his daughter standing outside the front door, proud of their estate. But that situation was nothing compared to the Oakvath family. The Oakvaths were from Gilbert, Arizona, and their story began with a heartfelt letter from their daughter Cassandra, who requested the show to renovate the cancer ward where she had been a patient. Touched by Cassandra's selfless request, the producers not only granted her wish, but also surprised the family of 9 with a 2-story mansion. The construction involved a massive team of 1,600 contractors and volunteers that garnered attention from across the state. Unfortunately, this wasn't happily ever after. Utility costs reached $1,200 for electricity per month and $400 per month for water. Property taxes increased from $1,600 pre-makeover to $5,600 after. Brian lost his job and was battling depression. With no other immediate solution, they used their house as collateral to take out a $405,000 loan. It was an adjustable rate mortgage, and the payments became too much for the family to handle.
Why did he take out the loan again? Like, taking out a loan for no reason is stupid. Like, taking out a loan for a reason is already kind of stupid in most cases, but for seemingly no reason? Yeah, that's kind of recipe for disaster.
This was their dream home, and they knew they couldn't afford it. Craziest part is, they never even asked for this in the first place. The ironic part about these situations is that people's first instinct is to doubt the families. Why couldn't they figure it out? Why not get another job? Why didn't they just sell the house? Most of the time,
if anyone's telling you, why couldn't you just get like a second or third job, bruh, you're kind of part of the problem. You're not actually helping. The fact that you think like that is kind of insane, in my opinion.
Nobody wants to buy these homes. The Oakvaths listed their house for $1.8 million, then slowly started to lower the price over the next year. Out of desperation,
that's actually probably true.
Ended up selling.
Because they're probably not in a region where houses are that expensive. So, if someone's looking for, because this is how this works, right? If you're looking for an expensive, luxurious home, you're not exactly going up looking properties in the ghetto. Even though there is a chance that there is something luxurious and expensive in the ghetto. But usually there isn't. If you want a luxurious house, you're going to a region that is considered luxurious, where all the things are going to be in that price range. So yeah, look at this. 500k, 600k, 700. Okay, these people at least are kind of like doing it. But yeah, they probably listed this. Wait, how does this even work? Oh, listing removed. Oh, this is the same thing. Okay, I don't know how these listings work in America. Okay, so they removed the listing and then they never relisted. But yeah, it seems like they could have probably like made a decent chunk. A lot of things is also, you can't really take this against the family, but if you're fucking living in a mansion, you might as well rent out a room or two. That would instantaneously help with the expenses without question. And you could probably rent out a room or two. And now you would probably have like 2 squatters living in your house without paying rent and destroying your life even harder. Because it's the current year.
Selling for $540k, just enough to break even on their loan and maybe put a down payment on a new place. The Beach family have been trying to sell their home since February 2013. The price tag started at $700,000 and is now down to $535,000. They say they've had to sell because the upkeep of the house is just too much now. It's a unique home and will take a unique person to buy it. Most critics forget the reason these families got these homes were because they were struggling in the first place. Many of them had pre-existing debt. Some of them weren't even homeowners in the first place. They were renting the house and ABC bought it and built them a new one. Combine these money issues with the family trauma they were all experiencing, and it's a recipe for disaster. From my
Wait, ABC bought you a house, or are you renting from ABC? In that case, I'm not even sure.
research, every single family that sold their house sold it for less than what it cost to build. But no matter what reason they chose to sell their house, they faced backlash from the community. Since each home is a community project with hundreds of volunteers, they look at the home like a gift from their neighbors. The Hassel family decided to sell just 3 years later because it was too much stress to handle. Then a publication interviewed members of the community to see how they feel. A lot of people gave time, product, and services. Some are very angry. Some I've run into have asked, why do they deserve it? There was even a letter written to the local newspaper that titled, "The entire Hassel family story is a disgrace and humiliation to this community."
Wow.
The Harper family's house foreclosed, and the mayor's response was, it's
this part is probably the most insane one. People feeling entitled just because they helped out for 2 hours, probably one day a fucking week. Like, get the fuck out of there. You probably tried to help because you wanted to be on TV. And now what are you doing? Now you're writing angry letters that you feel like you put your heart and soul into something? Dude, get a life. These absolute leech losers.
Aggravating. It just makes you mad. You do that much work, and they just squander it. Because he helped vault a massive beam into place in the Harper's living room. The Nicholas family received a home after their father died.
I told you. Helped put one thing in, like, a living room or some shit. Suddenly these people deserve all of your soul and everything that ever happens to you. Jeez.
From contracting hepatitis C when he was pricked with a patient's contaminated needle. 9 years later, the home was foreclosed because the mother could not manage the previous home mortgage and new property taxes that tripled in price. I feel bad because so many people came together to help us, she said.
Dude, the property thing is like fucking wild. No wonder you Americans are all poor and shit. No wonder you actually don't own private houses. Like, wow.
I know I shouldn't feel like I let them down, but I do. Many of the families feel guilt and shame that they couldn't live happily ever after. Most of them don't want to sell.
Can't you, like, write yourself off as a crack den and, like, I don't know, somebody? Or, you know, hey, do the thing that other people do in America. Just fire your gun randomly and pretend there's a huge amount of crime in your neighborhood, so your property taxes go down because, you know, you're living in a crime-ridden area with constant shootings. That's fucking great.
Their houses, but the financial stress and family tragedy is overbearing. As the years went on, ABC scaled back their projects because so many homes were being foreclosed on. They eventually realized these over-the-top charity acts were too extreme to be truly helpful, but then their ratings dropped since the homes weren't extreme enough for TV, which led to the show being canceled in 2012. I also noticed that
I mean, that's the obvious outcome, right?
They only have a small selection of episodes available on Hulu today, and all of the families who went on to sell or get foreclosed on...
I mean, that's what they get for putting their shit on Hulu.
...episodes removed from streaming services. It turns out, when you find a broken family facing hardship and financial problems, build them an extremely oversized home with ugly interiors in the middle of a neighborhood surrounded by other homes not even worth half as much as the new one they just...
Okay, so there's no touching upon cutting corners and whatnot, because I think that definitely happened. Like, who here does not think that most likely happened, right? Who here does not think that most likely after 3 years, like, the paint starting to peel and all of that jazz is happening? Who doesn't think that would be the thing? Because obviously, they're gonna make it look like spectaculars. They're gonna make, like, that 1 or 2 rooms with the crazy, stupid ideas to make it, like, television successful. But I think that there's probably rotten eggs in the walls. I think, you know, there's a lot of stuff like that there, because why wouldn't there be? I'm kind of surprised there was no mention of it. I expected that to be an actual huge thing. That, you know, they built it and after 3 years you need to renovate things because they're falling apart. Wow. Well, even if it wasn't mentioned in the video, I think that still probably was a huge part. Well, whatever. That was pretty good. Patrick CC. Good stuff. Anyway, this was Christopher Sid. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.